Walk across Sultanahmet Square today, and you are stepping right over the ghosts of the ancient Roman hippodrome. In 1603, a 13-year-old boy named Ahmed I inherited an Ottoman Empire in crisis. Lacking a major military victory to define his reign, the young sultan needed a different way to project dominance. He decided to build a massive Islamic sanctuary directly across from the empire's greatest architectural prize, the 1,500-year-old Hagia Sophia. By placing his sanctuary on the grounds of the former Byzantine palace, Ahmed made his intentions clear. He was carving a declaration of Ottoman supremacy directly into the skyline of his capital. The exterior of the Sultanahmet Mosque signals its ambition immediately. It features 6 minarets, a highly controversial choice at the time, because the only other mosque with 6 minarets was the holiest site in Islam, the Grand Mosque in Mecca. Beneath those spires, a cascade of domes physically draws your gaze upward. The structure is built to mimic a mountain reaching into the heavens, setting an immediate tone of reverence before you even reach the doors. Before entering the prayer hall, you step into a massive walled courtyard. This space operates as a psychological airlock, abruptly cutting off the noise and chaos of the surrounding city. At the center sits a hexagonal ablution fountain. The physical act of washing hands and feet here serves as a mandatory tactile ritual to clear the mind. The architecture is doing the heavy lifting here. It deliberately strips away earthly distractions, forcing a transition from the secular world into a state of absolute contemplation. While the neighboring Hagia Sophia leans into mysterious shadows, stepping into the Blue Mosque exposes you to an explosion of perfect symmetry and brilliant light. Look at this diagram. To hold up a central dome reaching 43 meters, a cascading system of semi-domes distributes the immense weight outward. This downward force is anchored to the earth by 4 colossal 5-meter-wide pillars, known as elephant feet. Because that heavy structural work is pushed to the edges, the walls themselves can be pierced. 260 stained glass windows flood the interior with natural light, representing the theological concept of Nur, or divine presence. The engineering solves 2 problems at once. It safely holds up thousands of tons of masonry, while visually dissolving that exact same mass to create the illusion of a weightless, infinite ceiling. Look down toward the lower walls, and you see exactly where the Blue Mosque earns its Western nickname. The lower interior is encased in over 20,000 handmade ceramic tiles. These pieces come from the workshops of Iznik, a town that perfected a secret recipe for fritware. By mixing a massive amount of crushed quartz into the clay, artisans created an exceptionally hard, luminous white canvas for their glazes. Painting on that quartz required intense chemical mastery. Sourcing cobalt oxide from Persia, these craftsmen figured out how to fire the tiles at extreme temperatures, so the deep blue pigment wouldn't blur or burn black in the kiln. The patterns themselves are heavily coded. You see the tulip motif repeated endlessly, because in the Arabic script used by the Ottomans, the letters that spell tulip are the exact same letters that spell Allah. The tragic part of this display is its finality. This commission was the absolute peak of the Iznik workshops. Shortly after the mosque was finished, their exact elemental recipes and techniques were lost to history. These walls represent a frozen, unrepeatable alchemy, engineered to wrap the worshipper in an earthly replica of the gardens of paradise. As a fully functioning house of worship, the Blue Mosque's architecture continues to dictate the rhythm of life for the thousands who gather here every day. At the far end of the hall sits the marble mihrab. This ornate niche acts as the spiritual compass for the room, physically orienting the entire congregation in a single direction toward Mecca. Beside it stands the minbar, a towering pulpit with a conical cap. When the imam climbs its steps to deliver the Friday sermon, the structure visually elevates him, merging the ideas of divine guidance and imperial authority. Because the cascading domes keep the vast central floor entirely free of columns, thousands of people can stand shoulder to shoulder, with every individual able to clearly see and hear the imam. The physical layout functions as a unifying mechanism. It takes thousands of distinct individuals and organizes them into a single, cohesive community facing the divine. Step back out into the square at night, and the original question returns. Did the young Sultan Ahmed ultimately succeed in his quest to rival Hagia Sophia? The Blue Mosque frames its Byzantine rival, creating a centuries-long architectural harmony in the Istanbul skyline. Every courtyard wall, every cascading dome, and quartz tile was placed to guide a human being inward, pulling them from the chaos of a capital city toward a state of profound inner peace. The Blue Mosque's legacy remains its role as a sanctuary of light, a space of Ottoman craft and geometry that offers anyone who steps inside a fleeting glimpse of eternity.